Hey everybody, it's Deanna with Tools of EnergyProtection.com, your Akashic Records expert and energy shift advisor. Hi everybody. Tonight we are doing Instagram. Hello everybody there on Instagram. Big hugs and kisses. And we're also on Facebook Live. So as you know, after the transmission tonight, the Instagram will pop over to Instagram TV and the Facebook will pop over not only to Facebook, but it'll go over to YouTube. So while everybody's getting on, I'm going to give you an opportunity to jump on tonight. And I appreciate you joining me here. It is March the 9th of 2021. And there's so many exciting things going on. I will say that I do feel that the energies have been lighter this last week, and I've only seen one kind of really weird spot in the frequencies. But as far as overall goes, we are experiencing a shift, and that shift is allowing us to begin to live our dreams, to live the dreams we desire. And so right now it's important for you to either make a shift towards something that you desire or pulling away from something that you don't desire. So that's what's going on the planet for a short energy shift. And you know that tomorrow night, the same time, 7:30, I will be doing the inner circle, energy shift inner circle. And that's where we go more in depth about, well, exactly what's changing for me, exactly how are things changing for me, and what does that look like? Because as the planets shift and the planets turn and twist, it creates a different frequency on our planet and affects our bodies. And so if you're really wanting to know more about that, and perhaps, what tools can you use to get through this time? I've been hearing again this week that a lot of people feel lost. I feel so lost, people tell me. And so, there's a lot of changes going on. And so people are feeling lost because, what once was working for you is no longer working for you. And that's why we get this feeling of being lost, because human brain wants to stay doing the same thing over and over again, doesn't really want to switch. And when it's forced to change, or the C word, as I like to call it, it kind of doesn't know what to do. So that is a little brief insight. And so in the energy shift inner circle, where I talk about physical body parts that may be being affected by this time. So if you've been to the doctor and you have a lot of headaches lately, and you're not sure why, tune in. So all you have to do is go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on the energy shift inner circle. I'm still working on getting that page more updated to talk more about what we do. Please don't think it's just the Schumann's frequency that we focus on. We have a lot more fun in there. And tonight, I promised to do a drawing on everybody who entered over on YouTube. So I'd like to take an opportunity to thank each and every one of you that went over to YouTube and subscribed, and then put a question down in the comments to enter to win the contest. And so today I read through all of the questions that were asked, and the ones that were most unique or I found most interesting, those are the people that I chose. And then I put them into their names in a hat. Actually, it's a box. And we're going to draw those names at the end of the night to find out, did they win a 30-minute free Akashic Record clearing energy session, or did they win a month on the inner circle for free? So let's get started with some of the questions, because these are really juicy questions that were asked. And if you have any more questions about what it is we're talking about tonight, go ahead and put them right down here in the feed, and I'll look at those here in a few minutes. And for those of you on Instagram, if you want to put those right down there in the feed, we'll have a look at that. So how's everybody? If everybody's doing good, can you give me a thumbs up? Let me know that things are good. Life is flowing. We're having a great day. Okay. I'm glad. That's good, because the energies are shifting. Okay, so the first question comes from Brandy, and she said, I was told I'm an indigo child. Can you tell me what that means? So can I get a big thumbs up out there, or maybe hearts over here on Instagram? For those of you that know what an indigo child is, or feel that you might be an indigo child, this is a super exciting subject, and I really am super excited to talk about it. I was going to wait a little bit in the year, maybe May, June, but this is fabulous. So let's get on with that. So what is an indigo child? All right, for those of you that have a narrow focus on spirituality and things happening in this world, I'm going to expand. So, they have put the spoiler alert down here at the bottom. This is not a spoiler alert. This is mind expanding alert. All right. So, an indigo child is a spirit being that was once incarnated somewhere else besides here. And they were helping this planet Earth evolve, helping it to evolve, helping the life to come along and realize what was happening. And so if you look in the Bible, it talks about perfect, righteous, spiritual character. And if you also look in the Bible, in the Old Testament, it talks about that the daughters of men, 3D world people, were involved with the sons of God or the giants. And so this gives us some indication that Adam and Eve weren't alone, and there were other beings, if you will, on this planet. So how is that part of indigo children? So indigo children were on another planet, if you will, watching to see what happened here. They were, helping to make sure mankind didn't destroy itself and developed and all kinds of wonderful things. I know, little bit stretchy. So what happened was there were several times when humanity, if you will, got to a hairy edge of not really developing in a way that it could work through the issues that we're in now. So you think where we are now in time and space, especially when we went into the age of Aquarius. We saw here comes COVID and the entire world, had a disease at once and commerce stopped and, just a lot of stuff. And that, that's a lot for humans to handle. And this was on the radar, so to speak. It was seen coming. And so these beautiful beings that, again, have a 3D existence wanted to help us out, but they couldn't because there's rules on the planet that you can't interfere with the journey of mankind. You have to let them evolve on their own. But again, they cared about us so much because we are part of them. We are continuance of them, that they didn't want to see us annihilate ourselves, kind of like Mars did. And so what they did, again, these people are hard to explain because they live in a 3D world like we do. And they're also spiritual beings like we are, but in a different sense. They don't have the density we do. But anyway, indigo children are volunteers. So when the people that were watching, nurturing, and helping our planet to evolve saw, they saw that we weren't going to make it through these times. Okay, just plain and simple. Too much disturbance, too much freak out. So these beings took it upon themselves to take volunteers to come and be on this planet at this time, bringing light to the world and helping the world to evolve. Think about that. Being able to see enough in the future that human beings wouldn't be able to put up with the disturbances. So if you think about it, the way I like to think about it is if you have a bowl of fish, and the fish are swimming and they got their little habitats and their plants and they're all happy. And if you stick something down in that water and stir it, they're like, "Wah!" And that's what happened. And so there were those of us that volunteered to be here, to be leaders of the light. I mean, some of us came to be light workers just to our neighbors and our friends. Some of us came to be at a higher level. Some of us have hundreds of followers. Some of us thousands. Some hundreds of thousands. But we chose to come here in unique circumstances so that we could learn what it was like to be human, to suffer, to not really feel at home, but still to be of service. And so those are indigo children. Now, why the color indigo? I'm still learning. It has something to do with the vibrational frequency that we came in at. But that's what an indigo child is. And again, I told you I gave you the stretch alert, going to stretch your awareness, your consciousness. And it's just a subject I don't normally cover, but I know about it. And when I got that question, I found that to be the #1 most interesting question on the YouTube video contest. But basically, that's it. So you might be an indigo children. You might be an indigo child if you really feel different than everybody else. And it's not just different, but it's different from everybody else. You know, like you don't fit in, you don't belong. They usually understand how powerful they are deep down inside, even if they don't say anything. The indigo children can see a liar a mile away, and they may not say anything, and they think everybody else can see it. And what they don't understand is that, everybody else can't see it, but they can see it. And they have a lot of challenges, especially when they're watching TV or politics or something. They know who's lying, even if they don't have proof. An indigo child also has a resistance to human authority. It just doesn't feel right. It feels too restrictive, constrictive, and they kind of rage against it. Now, that's not to say that they go out and commit crime. It just means that they're less tolerant of authority and structure, even though they realize it's necessary for the human existence. Let's see here. Indigo children also can see through societal norms as what they are, societal norms. They really don't matter. They're beliefs, but they don't have any basis in reality. It's just an illusion. And I'm going to speed it up a little bit because, we should get together and have a class on this. So if you feel like you're an indigo, if those things resonate with you, then you're on target with being an indigo. If you feel like you're an indigo child and you want to give me a thumbs up or a smiley face or a heart, if you can send those up over here on Instagram, if you can wave or, give me a heart over here on Instagram if that feels like you. But I'd like to go ahead and just kind of speed that up a little bit. Indigos are also loners. They don't feel like they fit in. And usually indigo children are kind of like sprinkled. They're like the salt of the earth. Actually, the Bible talks about them. They are the salt of the earth. And they get sprinkled out. So if you're an indigo child and you get married to an indigo child, you have a life that rocks. Because usually indigo children are so far spread out that, they might meet another indigo and they'll just be best of friends, but they rarely end up together in marriage relationships. And also they just kind of know. They have the gift of knowing is what I call it. They just kind of know. And they really do have few relationships and they prefer one-on-one relationships because too much of the belief systems and the norms of society. It's just overstimulating because they have a job to do. And that job is to be a light here and now, especially. And there are different waves of indigo children. So I'd like to make you aware of that too. I didn't realize when I first heard of indigo children, these were labeled as people that were behind me in age. And I'm like, well, maybe I missed out, right? But indigo children, there were different waves of them. So what the deal is they volunteered to come here and be in these physical bodies, walk among everybody else, and show the light. Like I said, some of them are famous people and have a lot more reach, and some people are just your next door neighbors. But the idea is to anchor the light in. And the people that knew this was coming knew that the rule is they can't directly interfere. And I'm going to ask you a serious question, but also a funny question at the same time. How many of you seriously could deal with it? If you're driving home from work, minding your own business, and you see a spaceship the size of a football field, could you handle that? I mean, think about it. I mean, you see it in the movies and stuff all the time, but that's like, the fish in the fishbowl going to be running around scared a lot. So what they did was they had volunteers to be born into this time and space so that they could work within the human body and spread the love and spread the light. Whew, that's a lot. I'm a little nervous talking about that, publicly, but, the question was asked and I knew it was time. So here are the different time periods as I understand them for the Indigo children, because they came in waves. And if you've studied warfare in World War II, I think it was, and one and some other, Roman times, they would send in a bunch of guys, to fight, and then they would send in another wave of fresh troops and another wave of fresh troops so that they could keep things going forward. And the first period is if you were born from 1958 to 1965, then that's the first wave of children, and those are the ones that feel the strangest. Those are the ones that feel like they have a mission. Those are the ones that feel like they have got to complete what they're doing no matter what. A bad marriage, a failed job, and a failed career doesn't really bother them. They just keep going because they have a mission to do. And it depends on where they are in their human experience as to how soon they find out what their mission is, and they take it and they do it. So anyway, then after that, you get the next wave of children, and they are called crystal children. And I only mention them here because I told you they came in waves. So we want to make sure that we know what their differentiation name is. But in my humble opinion, they're Indigo's second wave. But those were born between 1968 and 1978. And they tend to congregate into more greens and blue and purple colors is what they like and wear a lot of. And the other characteristic that I find so cool is those two generations will tend to look younger than they really are. It's just, they don't show their age very well as far as physical goes. The next ones were born between 1978 and 1988. And that was kind of a delta generation of crystalline children. No, sorry, the gamma generation of crystalline children. And then the next wave, the delta generation, was born between 1988 and 1998. So that was the next wave. And then there's the last wave, the Omega wave. And those crystal children are born between 1988 to 2008. And that's how this is looking, because that was what was needed to move us through this time and space. And if you think about it, the children that were born, the last wave of them up to 2008, that will get us through the end of this age that we're now in. They will be able to grow up, and their society and things are different in the post-COVID environment and blah, blah, blah. And they will be able to help towards the end of this era. So anyway, thank you very much. If you're watching on Instagram, when I get done and I press done, it goes over to Instagram TV, and then you can rewatch it there if you are jumping in and you're like, oh, wait, I missed all those dates. And Facebook, it'll just roll over once go back into my feed, and then of course I'll post it live, or not live, I'll post it on YouTube. So anyway, thank you so much to Brandy asking me what an indigo child was. I really appreciate that. It's, like I said, it's an area that I don't really talk about publicly too much, but the time is now for this stuff to come out. And for those of you that are more biblically based, I haven't found all the places in there where it ties in. So, you know, you'll have to discern it for yourself, maybe write and let me know. All right, let's say hello to the audience. And then I will go on to question number 2 and 3. And then I'm going to split the last half into probably next week, or yeah, let's do it next week, so we don't have all these questions piled up at once. But I will announce all the winners, and then what you've won, and ask you to get a hold of me. All right. Hi to, looks like Angelica, Chris, and Pampered Chef. Hi on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining. Facebook, it looks like we have Angie and Mary, Robin, Samantha, Ria, hi, Patty, Brandy. Great to see you tonight. Everybody else that's watching that didn't say hi on the feed down here. Okay, so the next person's question, I'm going to answer 2 more questions. If you have a question, please post it down here in the feed below, or over here on Instagram. Please post it and I will answer it. I had 5 winners. I'm talking about 3 total questions, and then next week I'll answer the other 2, and I think we'll just keep going from there. Please know that if you are interested in why you're feeling different, why do the energies feel weird, you know, what's happening on our planet, what energy tools can I help to protect myself so I don't feel like I'm being attacked all the time, or people are energy draining, you can come over to toolsofenergyprotection.com and go up to the top of the website, click on energy shift inner circle. Like I said, the description's a little bit off, because it talks more about the Schumann's frequency, and we talk about way more in that. We talk about tools of, you know, what energy tools can I use? What stones can I use? You know, how could I protect my energy through safe boundaries, all that kind of stuff. It's a very low price. We meet once a week on Wednesday at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time. And then it's a month to month. So if you join for a month and you don't like it, you know, you can go ahead and unsubscribe at that time. Or if you really love it, you can tell your friends about it and have them come and jump on board. It's really a unique platform, and I really enjoy doing it. So I hope to see you all on Wednesday, and get yourself signed up. All right. So the second question is, how do I know I'm a light worker? Okay. Let's see here. So how do you know you're a light worker? You're a light worker. A lot of what I just described. You're going to feel like you have a mission. And unfortunately, for a lot of light workers, we come in and we don't have any culture here, you know, in the States that I know of that gives you a rite of passage. I know, like when you're Spanish, you have a quinceañera and you have a rite of passage, and there's a celebration, and it's just a beautiful time. And when you're in the Jewish faith, you know, they have, sorry, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, the brain. They have a rite of passage for the males when they get to a certain age, you know, and they celebrate that. But I don't know of any part of our current culture that celebrates light workers and gives them a rite of passage. So a lot of light workers will go through life knowing they have a mission. You will show up usually as a teacher, a counselor, sometimes a lawyer. You will show up big time in customer service. And any kind of a service industry where you're dealing with a lot of folks. And a lot of my clients that are in the customer service area, they come to me and they're so fatigued because people are angry and mad. So not only are they picking the anger and mad up and trying to serve them, but they're trying to send love at the same time. And it's just a lot of coming and going, you know, with the energies. So my second winner tonight, Jessica Odell. If you are listening, you'll need to get a hold of me for your prize. But how do you know that you're a light worker and basically you feel like you have a mission? You also will find yourself attracting energy draining people. Can I get a thumbs up for that? If you attract energy draining people, can I get a woohoo, a thumbs up, something? Because that's a lot of how I feel. And an energy draining person can be somebody who just wants to get your attention all the time, kind of like a small child. Now they need love, attention, and they seek it. So that's normal. But, it's like, it's just somebody who's like always trying to pull your attention away from what you're doing. It's like, I have things to do and, I can give you some of my time, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give you 24/7. Energy draining people will also give you missions to do that you don't want to do. And you got other stuff to do. So how many of you out there know people that will give you stuff to do to keep you busy? And you're like, I don't need to be busy. I got other stuff to do, but you feel obligated, so you do it, and it keeps you from doing what your mission is. Now, yes, we all have to have a job and we all have to make money. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm going to pick on the American housewife for an easy example, okay? But the American housewife back in the 1950s, if you go back and read some of the articles, blow your mind. They were told, to wear a nice shirt and the pearls and the heels and, greet your man at the door when he comes home and have a fresh beverage for him. And all the kids are, dressed and clean and ready to greet dad when he comes home, and dinner's ready and the house is clean. Yeah, not working for me, Yes, I think it's good to have a clean house. Yes, I think it's great to have your kids, meet your husband at the door when he comes home. But do they need to be all cleaned and pressed, like June Cleaver? For those of you not old enough, you had to look it up. But what I'm saying is that there were a lot of things that women were told to do during that time period. Told to do. And if they tried to keep up with it all, they ended up taking mommy's little helper. You got to check that out too, because they couldn't deal with all the stress. And what about what they desired? What if they had a mission? What if they had something they wanted to do? They had to push it aside to just do this one thing. And am I against families? No. I think it's beautiful if you can have the mom, the dad, and the kids and everybody there loving each other. We have blended families so much these days, single parent families these days. I get it. But the bottom line is that if you're not focusing on what makes your heart sing, you're going to get lost in somebody else's agenda. So I hope you can cut between the lines of what I'm saying. Again, I think it's good to have family values. I think it's good to have a family core. I think it's, great if you're a stay-at-home mom or dad these days. We have both. That, you get the kids to go and greet their parent when they come home and, sit down and let them have some time to just breathe, But at the same time, if there's something that makes your heart sing, there should be time in your day for that. Sometimes you have to wait till the other person gets home to watch the kids. All right, I'm going to move on because I think I'm beating a dead horse. But you get the picture. All right. So now let's talk about, again, just so you know, how do you know you're a light worker? Because you have a mission. You feel like you have a mission. Energy draining people seem to find you. You seem to find jobs where you can be in the public a lot, even if you're wearing a headset and just answering customer service. And I mean, as opposed to being in person with customer service. And you feel drained at the end of the day. You feel, like you go to work and you give everything you have and you come home and you're just exhausted. And you don't want to be touched and you don't want people talking to you. It's because you haven't been taught how to do those things effectively so that you still have your energy at the end of the day. All right, I'm going to look real quick in the feeds and see if there's any questions. Let's see here. Hi to Hillary, who's joined us in Instagram. And let me see if I've got anything else over here on Facebook. Okay, so it looks like we're good with questions. Okay, we're going to go to question number 3. Oops, sorry, 3. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. I have noticed this week that the energies, there's a kind of a pull between the two. You either feel really super exhausted like I have this week, or you feel like you're on top of the world and things are coming together like I have this week. So that's what's happening. Okay, so the next winner we have is Nicole Gowdy. Nicole, here she says, is there a way to clear ancestral blockages in the akashic records? I want to make life easier and happier for my kids and the generations after me. Great question, Nicole. You were also a winner. So yes, it is possible to take the akashic records, the book of life, and clear family ancestral blockages. So let's say you have bipolar disorder that runs in your family. You can clear that for generations past and generations going forward. If you have alcoholism in your family, you can clear that going past and you can clear that going forward. It's really lovely. So the answer is absolutely yes, you can. You can also clear it from genetics. So you have Akashic records and then you have physical genetics. So both of those you can clear that in. Now, I'm going to read the last 2 questions. We will talk about those at the top of next week. But I'd like to announce the winners and then tell you what you've won. So the next person's question is from Dawn Larson. So Dawn, you have also won, and she wants to talk about the ringing, the high-pitched whine, and the pressure in the ears, and what's the difference. So we'll talk about that next week. Leslie, I believe it is Maltese. Leslie, she wants to know if she's crazy because she thinks that she talks to her deceased mother in her head and she hears answers back. She's not crazy. And we'll talk about that next week because that's an exciting subject about how can you hear your deceased loved ones speaking to you. So anyway, so our winners again this week are Brandy, Jessica Odell, Nicole Gowdy, Dawn Larson, and Leslie Maltese. Thank you so much for entering the contest and asking the questions. If you didn't win, don't worry because I'm going to be holding more contests coming up in the future. We'll do some on Instagram as well again back on YouTube. So I put all the winners in a box and put all your names in there because I told you in the rules you had to subscribe, ask an interesting question, and then you would be drawn at random. So here's random, okay? Everybody's in here. So I'm going to draw for the first 30-minute free session, and you'll need to get a hold of me so we can get this scheduled. And the first person winning for the 30-minute free session is Brandy. Our first, yay, Brandy. So you need get a hold of me, and we'll do a 30-minute session for an energy clearing or Akashic record reading. Okay, the next person that is our winner for an Inner Circle 1-month pass, and I will need you, if this is you, to quickly get me your email address. So either private message me on Facebook or go over to toolsofenergyprotection.com, get my email, and send me an email with your email because our Inner Circle is tomorrow night at 7:30 Mountain Time. So our winner of 1 month of free Inner Circle is Jessica Odell. Yay, Jessica, good. So please get that a hold of me so we can get you in the Inner Circle tomorrow night. All right, let's go to the next person for the Inner Circle. Okay, Leslie Maltese. So get your information to me, and you have won a 30-minute Inner Circle for 1 month. Okay, so make sure you reach out, either toolsofenergyprotection.com and email me or contact me private message. Okay, so we've got, let's see here. All right, now the next person for the Inner Circle. All right, so Dawn Larson, you have won the Inner Circle for 1 month free. So make sure again that you get a hold of me. So that's awesome. Let's see her. Okay, and then the person that has won, sorry, 30-minute free session, shiny object. Okay, Nicole. Nicole Gowdy, get a hold of me and let's get your session scheduled. All right. I'm going to look one more time in the feed and see if I have any other questions. And let's see if we can get those answered. A little bit different format tonight. So if you have any feedback on this, if you could give me let me know what's happening. And I can like to get some feedback on that. So it looks like everybody over here on Facebook looks like there's no other questions. So that's it. So the desired outcome is that you learn some more about Indigo children, when they entered, what they look like. If you're interested in an Indigo child class, private message me, let me know. I can put one of those together. We can go more in depth about what each individual wave's mission is and what that looks like. And we will see you back here to answer some more questions Tuesday. Tomorrow night's the Inner Circle. So toolsofenergyprotection.com. Click on Energy Shift Inner Circle. Get yourself joined up, and then we will see you there. If not, I'll see you here on Tuesday to answer 2 more questions and talk about what's happening on the planet at that time. Have a great and wonderful night. Big hugs and kisses, everybody.